based in Paris. And so we are recording, if you don't mind. I'm Ségolène. I'm from European Alternatives. I've been working with European Alternatives for years, and I'm one of the persons who have been behind the project Room to Bloom. And I just want to say a few words on what's behind the project and what it came from. It came basically from a bit of a frustration and a disappointment with the fact that it was very difficult for us as festival and art project curators to really ensure the visibility of artists who are not like the most visible, or who are not big names, or who are from diverse backgrounds. And we really wanted to push that for us and for the artists. And we thought we are working at an organization on equality beyond the nation state. So our slogan is democracy, equality, culture beyond the nation state. And it was very strong, very important for us to help and push for a better representation of feminists and artists, and from minority backgrounds as well. So we're very happy to welcome you here. It's really thought as a network and a co-creation space. We and the partners are going to do all our best to ensure that the network is built in a very positive, collaborative, and nicely working space. We're doing our best to work with the COVID and so on. And we really have a lot of hopes and beliefs that with all these beautiful people joined in, we're going to co-create something great together.
Thank you so much, Ségolène. It really does look like an amazing group of people. I'm just gonna just invite and show to you our program for today, just so that we can see how we're gonna work together. We're going to be working in a participative way so that we can get to know each other, because that's really one of the key purposes of today, is to get to know each other, to begin to see who we are as a community together. So here we are at the welcome address, and in just a little while, we will be arriving to our community, and we're going to be using an online tool called Slido to just start to see our ecosystem. Where are we from? What is the artistic practices that we're bringing together, etc. And then after that, we're going to be working with a participatory method, which will allow you to work in different groups and inviting you to share the stories of your artistic practices, so that together we can see what is possible between us, that we can co-create together through Room to Bloom. We'll take a break because we're going to have 3 hours together, and if we need to, we'll take a second break. And then after the break, we'll come back and we'll hear about the Room to Bloom program. So we'll see what the journey looks like, what it's made up of, etc. And then after that, we are going to have a screening of Julia Strauss's film, which will be the beginning of the content input. And then we are going to go into 3 groups, and we have 3 presentations, which you will not be able to go to all 3, and we will randomly place you in one of the groups, but we'll be able to hear from 3 of the program's advisors, Beryl, Marcella, and Julia. And after that, we'll come back for a final kind of paired work. Hopefully we'll have the time on surfacing our learning objectives, just to give you an opportunity to ask yourselves, what is it that I really want to learn through this program? What is it that I want to take away from this? And then we'll be checking out. We have Julia with us, who was hoping to create some visuals for us, but we've had a little bit of a problem with our tech host, so she's tech hosting for us. So we'll see if she has any visuals. If not, we'll be sending them afterwards, and we'll close. So that's our time together. We have 3 hours together. If we need to take more than one break, we certainly will, because online is not as easy as the rest. So, can I just invite us all to mute if you haven't? Maybe actually you can mute all of us there, Julia, and then I'll unmute myself. So just inviting that. Okay, great. Good. So let's begin to get to know each other. Let's begin to see who we are. And we're just going to use Slido. I don't know if any of you have used that. I'm just going to pop a link in the chat for you. So just give me a moment. This is the fun stuff about hosting online. You have to multitask. There we go. Okay. So here's a link. If you click on that link, you should be able, did I just give that to you? Let me just check. There we go, sorry. Give me a second. Now I'm having problems with my chat. Do you have that, Julia? If you can put it in. Just check in there. My chat has gone all funny. Sorry, here we go. It's doing something very strange. Okay, sorry, Julia, can you put the link in the chat?
It's coming.
Thank
Multitasking
you.
here as well. There it should be.
There you go. If you click, you should get to a Slido. So let's just try it. And I will share my screen so we can see this. I've got a question here for you, if you're able to join. Where do my feet touch the ground? Where are you? It could be a city, or it could be your country, it could be a village. Where do my feet touch the ground? Just Athens, Tinos, bravo. Here we go, Palermo, Berlin, Vienna, Torino, London. Oh, there's many coming up here. We've got a few of us in Athens, a few of us in Berlin. So those are the larger ones, but let's just go Nottingham, UK, Turin, Lausanne, Prague, Vilnius. It's jumping around, so I'm trying to catch up with you. Folkestone. Okay, Russia, wonderful. Munich, Arnhem. Okay, here we go. Shanghai, wow, fantastic. Liechtenstein, Siberia, Kiel, Milan, Stockholm, Kastraki, Naxos. I love it that we're in very important places. Wonderful. Thank you. Komotini. Okay, Bangkok, Warsaw. Such a diverse group. And I feel like the earth is joining us as I see all of our places coming together. Our earth is so important as she holds us. Thank you. Okay, let's move to our next question. I know there's more of us still joining. So our next question is, what is my artistic practice? What is my artistic practice? Be nice to see again, to see the diversity here of what our different practices are. Digital collage and illustration, visual art and performance, filmmaking. I'm going to scroll. Choreography, poetry, beautiful. Dance and computational, political. Oh, I missed that. City interactive, painter, sculptor. This is going fast, so I'm going to wait a moment until multidisciplinary. Food and fermentation, beautiful. Creating spaces for collective encounters, writing, drawing, videos. So important to have these creative spaces, especially in the state our world is. Visuals and amateur text, public performance, art and video, photography, sculpture, henna and dance. Oh, how I love henna. Conversation, participation, public art, sound, filmmaking. Wow, we have got we are super creative. Conversation, participation, public art, sound. Conversation, participation is my art form as well. Wonderful. So just scrolling, research, installation, community, and participatory projects. Okay, hope I'm not missing anything. I'm just going to scroll a little bit because we are ahead of time. Digital storytelling, textile design and contemporary dance, tattoo and drawing. Oh, there's so many constructions. Wow, fantastic. Research-based performance installation, multidisciplinary research. Whew, my goodness, I'm getting overwhelmed by the magnificence here. Wow, okay, ceramics, that's one that we didn't. Relational art and political, thank you. Okay, I'm gonna keep all of these and I'll be sending it to you so we won't miss anything. Is there any more coming in? Graphic design, illustration, and visual arts. Whew, thank you, thank you. I'm just gonna move us on to our third question. What is my main interest in Room to Bloom? What is it that has really drawn you here, inspired you to become part of Room to Bloom? All right, here we go. Let's give it a moment. Okay, post-colonial feminism is important, and ecofeminism, as is leveraging obstacles. Post-colonial feminism is call for the artworks is there too. There's a good balance actually happening between them. Okay. Thank you. I think that's where we are. Thanks. And we've got one final, just in a word, what is that main interest, main motivation for being part of Room to Bloom? Like from your heart, what is that word that speaks to you? To grow. What a beautiful first word. Connection, feminism, community. Okay, finding my community. To bloom together. Ecosystems. Women's community. Learn and support. To care. What an important word. To meet the others. Participation. Opportunities. Sorority. Fellowship. Belonging. Wow. Women's community, empowerment, community connection, finding my community. Community is so important at these, again, these times of transition that we are in. We need to find the safe spaces where we can bring our art forms and our heart forms, if I can say that as well. Thank you, thank you. That's just to get a sense of who we are together. Just checking if there's any more words. Collective emancipation and planting seeds, right? Sharing, voicing, important engagement.
Ik wil hem auslassen eigenlijk om hard hitte te sparen.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, that was it for our Slido, just to start to get a sense of who we are, the diversity of places we come from, the amazing art forms that you're bringing to this space, what it is that has called you here, and also what is kind of our main motivation for being here. So thank you for that. As I said, we're capturing all of this, so nothing will get lost. And now I really want to invite us to begin to get to know each other a bit more. As many of you have said, you're really here for community. You're here to connect. You're here to find a sense of belonging. And we're in this online world, which it's not the same as being in the same room, where we'd be able to speak to one another, see our facial expressions more, touch each other or hug each other, have coffee together or tea or whatever it is that we like to drink. However, this is the medium we have, and we're going to work with a participatory method called World Cafe. Maybe some of you have participated in a World Cafe. It's a participative method that gives us the opportunity to share from our own hearts but to also find our collective meaning. And that's what we're going to do for the next hour or so. So let me just share some slides with you. Again, moving here to this lovely world of multitasking. Okay, here we go. Let me share my screen. So we're going to share stories of what inspires our artistic practices. We're still getting to know one another. So we're not yet talking about Room to Bloom. We're still talking about ourselves. And I'm really going to be inviting you to be sharing the inspiration. Go deep under the ground into the root system of what inspires your artistic practice, right? Where does that inspiration come from? So use the next while you're speaking amongst yourselves in small breakouts to not only learn about the others, but to learn more about what inspires you. What is the flame or the root or the seed that is emerging in you, and share that with one another. We're going to work with World Cafe, and these are just some principles I'm offering to you to help create a container in how you can have your conversations. Firstly, we're inviting you to contribute your thinking and experience. Talk about the experience of your artistic practice. But we're also inviting you to listen together. So make sure that you're not taking all the space, but you're also listening to others, and that you're listening together, like create a one ear where you start to listen to really focusing on what matters. So don't talk about things that don't matter to you. Talk about what most matters to you. Connect your ideas, connect your inspirations, begin to become that community that you're looking for, and then listen to understand to each other. And if we were together in the same room, we'd be sitting around little tables and we'd have flip chart paper. Well, we don't have that, but you might have a piece of paper with you. You might have a notebook. So play doodle and draw. If somebody says a word that really inspires you, that takes your mind somewhere, capture it if you want to, because that's going to be important. When we get back, we'll be seeing if any of these kind of images are emerging for you. So these are just some principles to help you have your conversations. We are going to start off for 20 minutes in breakout rooms of about 5 people in each breakout room. And the question that is kind of the fire that you're sitting around, so just imagine us being outdoors, being in the earth, and having a little fire in front of us. The fire is what inspires my artistic practice, or practices, because some of you're very multi-talented. So share with each other. Of course, you can introduce each other. You can say a little bit about where you are, but get to that place of what really inspires your artistic practice. You'll have 20 minutes in this round of conversation. And after 20 minutes, we'll come back and we'll hear a little bit of what is beginning to emerge for you. Okay, so I'm just going to stop sharing. So what inspires my participative practice? What inspires my participative practice? That's the question. And just checking with Julia, are we good to go into groups?
We're good to go into groups. I think
okay.
Mostly groups of 5, one group of 4. And I think Maria, the question was, what inspires my artistic practice?
Practice, what did I say that? Okay, thank you.
That might be participative as well, but I think
Thank you. I went somewhere else. Okay, have a great conversation, meet each other, be curious about who you are. All right, Julia, send us into breakouts.
Okay, so all of you should have an invitation, and there they go. Follow that link. Okay. And let's see, there's some of us still here. Guys, if any of you have difficulty finding where you need to go, let me know.
Okay, there we go. I have some iPhones here. I don't know. Just, okay, slowly they're going.
can help them. But it's a lot of people.
I know, it is a lot of people. Oh my God, here's Mary. What's she saying?
There's some people who have dropped out, it seems.
Okay, Mary's just come through. I don't know if she said, I'm so sorry I overslept. I thought that's what happened. Hi, Irene, can you hear us? Or Mushgan? So I don't know, Julia, if you'll be able to pass the hosting to her now. Will you be able to do that? I think so, when she gets here.
Her when she gets here, because she knows the program a bit better than I do.
Right. Well, yeah. So Manuela.
Should we join some of the groups? Or
yeah, you can. You can, yes.
Shall I pop you in one? Just anyone?
Yes, please. Yeah,
yes,
what do you think,
Martin?
Marta?
I want. Okay, so Ségolène, I'll find you.
I don't know if I can join in because I'm recording. So they're recording.
I am. Ségolène, I put you in the room where there's 4 people, so then it's
You can also pause the recording, Martha. You can pause it because we don't have anything to record right now. Anna, can you hear us? Anna? No. Ah, there.
Hello, Anna.
Where's there?
Anna? Hi. I think Anna just joined.
Hi, Anna, can you hear us? Maybe her internet's not very good. Here comes Mary.
And I really need to go to the toilet though.
Let's wait for her to join. Mary. Oh, thank God you're here, Mary.
You guys,
don't worry. Don't worry. I thought that's what happened.
You know, I have been using Google, like the home thing, right? As an alarm, I have a speaker, but I'm so used to her now that I think I've been telling her in my sleep to turn off, because this has happened to me before another time. So,
I know.
Oh my God.
Has it? Oh God. Oh
yeah.
God.
Well,
So
I didn't sleep in, but I mean, it's happened to me where I've turned the alarm off in my sleep.
So Julia has been holding the fort. She's been our host. They're in a World Cafe. Can she pass the host over to you? And
you can,
you then see them? And all right, do that, Julia.
Oh, God.
Everything will stay. She won't recall them back, right? No. So go ahead. They've gone in about 4 minutes ago, I think. Is that right, Julia? Because you didn't put the time. So
fuck yeah, I didn't put the time.
Don't worry.
Okay.
There's another. Exactly. Give them another 15 minutes. Actually, I think we have more time because we're ahead of time, aren't we? Let me just see. 9:30. Oh yeah. I mean, let's leave them in now for another, like, I don't know, 20 minutes. They'll have more like 25 minutes, but they've got time. So
I don't know if Anna and Mukan are having any problems.
We tried to speak to them. I'm also just writing in the chat to them. They're not replying at this stage, but I will just watch out.
Yeah, we'll keep trying. All right, so Mary, leave them in there for another 20 minutes. Yep.
Yeah.
Julia, you can go to the loo. Are you now the host, Mary?
Yes.
She passed. Yay! Oh my God, Mary, I've never seen
Anna's writing in the chat. Hello, good morning, Anna. Yes, we started half an hour ago, so you did only miss the very beginning.
That's right. Can you?
Don't worry.
No problem. Do you want to unmute and speak to us so we can? We're now working in groups. We'd love to put you in one of them, and we're introducing ourselves. Hi, Anna.
Good to see you, Anna.
We can't hear you, though. Can you say something?
No, speaking. Your audio isn't working.
Your audio isn't working. So do you want to check that, or?
Is it, can you hear me now?
Yes, good.
I'm really sorry for being late. Nice to meet you all.
Likewise. We're just working in breakout rooms where people are starting to get to know each other. And we're speaking to the question of what inspires my artistic practice.
Okay.
So we can put you in a group. Do you want to?
Wonderful.
Yeah. Okay, Mary will do that for you. So you should, yeah, she'll do that in a second. Great. Okay, is it Mujgan? Can you hear us? Not only did we not have, my chat is now, I'm going to leave and I'm going to come back because my chat is stuck. Okay, you'll just have to come back.
And I will go to this toilet now. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. Mary, I am so happy you're here. Also, what Maria might not have said, the second round is different people. I tried to put them in groups of 5 and like you need to assign them manually, she said, for some reason.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we'll do that. So it's just a whole new set of people in groups of 5, right?
As she said, but check with her that it doesn't matter if some people stay.
No worries.
And the third round should be the same.
Yes, got it.
And now we have Anna.
Anna, yeah.
I'll briefly be.
Okay, no, you take your time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi,
Anna. Yeah. Can you hear us there, Anna?
Hello? Yes, I can.
Hi.
I'm so sorry.
Don't worry, everything's fine. We're just working in small groups and we're just introducing ourselves and sharing on what inspires our artistic practice. Okay. So we'll put you in a group. We'll put you in a group and you can meet others.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Oh my God, Mary, I've never been happier to see a human being. I realize how much we rely on you. Oh my God.
I can't believe it happened, Maria. It was bound to happen at some point in my life because,
Of course.
but oh my God, I can't believe it. I'm gonna have to figure out I'm gonna have to get a new alarm. I'll have to get one of those big clocks with the bells on top,
Yeah.
Go ding, 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 ding.
Oh, I just was texting my friend, saying, can you jump in and help? So I'll just say, thank you. We're here. She's great, though. She's my colleague, Mariana. She will do anything. Oh, Mariana. Here we go. Mariana. Kalimera. Mariana Masakus. Kalimera. Mariana. Hello. Oh, there we go. Not good internet.
She must have got your message.
That was not weird. Is that's not the Mariana? That's another person.
Oh,
spooky.
That is spooky.
Spooky.
Okay, so I don't know if I have the script for this, Maria. Do I?
Oh my God, I thought I sent it, but I had put you in an email last week, but
to find the agenda.
Here we go. Let me just send it to you. Here we go. Okay, you're gonna need to make me a co-host, by the way, there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're doing a World Cafe. When we bring them back, you'll just reshuffle them, the usual stuff. We'll send them off again for 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
They'll come back. I'll frame in the harvest and send them off for another, I can't remember now, I think 10 minutes or 15 minutes.
Okay.
But we're way ahead of time. It never happens. But anyway, 20 minutes, and then they'll have 15 minutes in the last round. Then we'll take a plenary. We'll take a break, and then we'll come back. We're going to screen a video. Marta's going to share screen on that, a film, and then we're going to pop them into 3 groups because we've got 3 people offering presentations. Can you see that on the script? You'll need to put in room 1 a woman called Beral Madra.
See it, yeah.
Room 2, Julia, yeah. And then you can put Yeah, Marta with Beryl. I'll go with Julia and Marcella and Segolen, who is she's in a group at the moment.
Got it.
Yeah, can I ask you something about this, the breakout room sessions?
Yeah.
Because I know, so Veral has this presentation that she wants to show. I asked her to be shorter, but I don't know if she managed to do so. So I wanted to ask you if you suggest to try and cut the presentation.
No.
To leave some time for discussion, or it's better that she just do it.
Well,
if there's not
yeah,
enough.
we've got let's just see how long we have. About 11:15, 11:30. We have about 20 minutes, and we might be able to go to 25 minutes. Do you think she's going to be presenting for longer than that, or do you think it'll take her?
My concern is that it's going to take her longer than 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, that's okay.
So
but if she takes 20 minutes, she'll still have about 25 minutes. So I wouldn't interrupt her. It's too rude to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Done.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to pop to the loo and I'll be right back.
Maria, could you send me if you have the Slido results, because I totally missed that, and if I follow the link, I just get
sure. Yeah, I
participate.
I do it right now. Okay, I just downloaded them.
There were so many practices. I mean, like Marta.
Unbelievable.
Weren't you like blown in your mind?
I was getting overwhelmed looking at it. I was like, oh my God. That was so amazing.
This is actually one of the things I'm dealing with at the moment, because we have to create this database with all of their names and art practices. And for a database, what you need to do is categorize the art practices. So having maybe 5 or 6 categories, and then people can filter the artists depending on these categories. But what we're having is one category per person almost, because they are so different, and you don't want to narrow them into, I don't know, we had noted literature, but then within literature you have storytelling, poetry. So this database, we are seeing how to categorize or just not categorize and do it differently.
Wow.
Well, you could categorize them wondering across the themes that they're interested in. So rather like, look for the common things that is more their interest, rather than divide them based on skill. But yeah, I was also hoping to put all the different practices in the visual, but it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much. It's unbelievable. I slightly shifted the question of the second round, but I've put it in the script and I've also put it in the, I've got, what is our collective inspiration that connects our artistic practices? What is our collective inspiration that connects our artistic? So that's when they can kind of look at, because I felt that what is our collective, well, it might be just too simple or whatever. So hopefully I didn't make it too complicated. So they should be now about 15 minutes. No, it was about 25 past 15.
Exactly.
So do bring them back.
At 45.
You can even send them a message now that they've got 5 minutes and bring them back. Sorry, I didn't see it.
Just a 10-minute warning, but yeah.
Great. Okay. So bring them back, in about 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Because then we might have more time, Marta, in the groups for them to ask questions, etc. So Julia, you're back to scribing.
Yeah.
Multitasking. I love you. You're so good. You did a great job.
I was praising her for her.
But it's such a different space, and it's so interesting because, Maria, when you said, I think with the tech hosting, you really notice how it's different from being in the room.
Yes.
Like, simply there isn't tech hosting. There's still scribing. There's still hosting.
Yeah.
There's
but
maybe
tech
sitting
hosting.
at the chairs, but tech hosting is just like...
You're buggered if you can't do it online. So, yeah. Thank God you're here. No, I figured you had overslept, Mary. I thought this, and because I was thinking, oh, maybe I didn't tell her. Maybe I'm to blame.
No,
I was like freaked. Never mind.
Never mind. I'm here now. Exactly.
You are deeply valued.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. I can feel it in
the air.
Yeah.
Mary, can you make me co-host?
Oh yeah, sure.
And Marta, I was just thinking, you have a good show though. I mean, I think it was supposed to be a couple more people, but with 100, I think we were at 87 or something last time I had.
That's good. We're still a big group. So Marta, when we take now, like you're recording what we're speaking, you can actually pause the recording and then reopen it again. But if you don't want to keep hearing that lady speaking to us, that's why, okay? Well, you'll just edit this piece, right? Because they really don't need to see us jabbering on about our anxieties about tech hosting.
Yeah, me being late.
I'm getting my downstairs painted in my house, and you have no idea. I'm sitting in the middle. You can't see it, but I'm sitting in the middle of boxes, furniture, and everything in between.
Okay, I'll close up.
Yeah. Kalimera, Mariana, can you hear us? Welcome back. some of us hang on till the last second. I hope you had good conversations. Good morning, Mariana. Welcome. Happy that you could join us. Okay, we'll just wait for the rest to come because we're not all back. I hope you started to get a sense of meeting each other. We're still waiting. Here we come. I think we're all back now. No, we're still waiting. Sorry. Looking at how many participants are here. Okay, now I think we're all back, right? Yep, Mary, we're back. Yeah, good. So welcome back. I hope you had a good first round of conversation. We're going to have more. But to give Mary a chance to put you in new groups, we'd love to hear about some of what's starting to bubble up in your groups. What was it that you're learning or you're finding out about each other? If anybody has something to offer, just unmute and speak to us. We'd love to hear you. We'll have time to hear 3 or 4 voices. So is there something that surprised you or delighted you or disturbed you? That's good too. Just unmute. You don't need to put your hand up. And don't be shy. I know we're a big group, but we're all friends here, so. Is there a first brave soul whose voice? Hey, Rasha, I just saw you. Hi. Is there a brave soul who wants to unmute?
I could go.
Great, thank you. Please go ahead.
My name is Janvi. I'm from India and I was in group 5 and it was amazing. We immediately connected and we didn't want to leave the group. But what I think came up in the discussions and in our practices was a very similar sort of take on the political situations in the global nationalism and all the things that it is affecting and how it's sort of trickling down in our practices. So like a lot of us in the group sort of said that. And yeah, overall, a very good chat, I guess. Yeah.
Great, thank you. Where are you in India before you mute?
No, I'm studying in the UK, but I'm
from India. Okay, well, I grew up in India. That's why I'm curious. Okay, wonderful. Thank you. The politics, how it's coming into your practices, how it's starting to inspire, and what a powerful medium in which to speak and shift politics than art. Thank you. Is there another brave soul?
I could also say, yes, because I found that we had a lot of things in common in my group, and I think that most of us have an interest in connecting small micro realities, domestic stories into bigger scenarios and collective problems and micro realities. And also an interest in intergenerational narratives and sharing of stories, and also how to learn through nature and understanding as part of a bigger spider web of relationality, I would say.
Thank you, Eliana. It's amazing how in the micro we also find the macro, huh? It's incredible how as we zoom in, we see the zoom out. Thank you. So I'm starting to hear some of those collective inspirations, which will be our next level of conversation, but I'm happy you guys are ahead of me. Is there somebody else who'd like to offer some of the inspiration, disturbance, excitement that came from your groups?
I think that, sorry. Perfect. Okay.
We're the same group. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's
Okay, we can hear from both of you. We've got time to hear from both of you. Okay. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say that one thing that emerged in our group, which was we sort of shared where we found Room to Bloom, and then we kind of all commiserated about the labor that goes into applications and the sort of care that you have to give yourself when dealing with lots of rejections. And also it's like you work on all of these things that kind of when they don't get accepted, it's a bit feels like all this work put into nothing. Yeah. It was good.
I'm seeing some nods. I'm seeing some nods there. So good that you guys are voicing this. This is some of the dark side, the difficult side, right, of what you guys do. This endless applications, this endless, am I going to be accepted or not? And we are all perfect and acceptable, and yet we don't get accepted. And it's, excuse my language, shit when that happens, right? So thank you. Costandino, please. We'd love to hear from you too.
No, it's okay, because I would like to propose Yolanda for our representative. But it's okay. I totally agree with Eileen also. So it's I'm covered.
Yeah, I also wanted to say that this was really a beautiful talk we had, and how we found the same kind of inspiration. So yeah, thanks guys for covering that.
Good. Well, I get so excited when I hear that people are connecting, by the way. I'm a little bit of a connection geek, although I'm Greek as well, but I love hearing that little connection. Just checking with our tech host, lovely Mary. Are we good to go? Okay, so before I send you off into the second group, because this is an opportunity to meet new people. There might be some of you that there was somebody from your previous round. That's only because of the technical stuff of moving all of you, which becomes difficult, but you still should have 2 or 3 new people in your groups. I'm just going to share my screen. So we've got a second question, which you guys are already working on, but it's what is our collective inspiration that connects our artistic practices? So what I'm going to invite you to do is, from your first round of conversations, the things that you have started to see that connects your practices, take it into your second round. Meet new people. See if there are more connections between you. We've heard the politics, we've heard the micro to the macro, we've heard the difficulty of all these applications. What else connects your artistic practices? What is that inspiration that becomes collective? So for now, I really am inviting you to move into the we. The first round was the me, and now we're moving to the we. Start to find more connections. You'll have 20 minutes. You'll be in hopefully new groups. And don't worry if there's a couple of you that were from your previous round, deepen your relationships. And we'll see you in 20 minutes. So what are those collective inspirations? So just checking on Natalia and Lina. If you can hear us. Nope. Maria Elisa also. Hi, Maria Elisa. Can you hear me?
Hi, yes, I am so sorry. I'm just
Did you just joining? No problem. So we're working in breakout rooms, and this is our second round of conversation, and we're discussing what is the collective inspiration between our artistic practices. So we're going to pop you in a group, and I'm sure your group will introduce you and bring you in. Okay?
Okay, Marta, and just before you join me in, I just wanted to say today is my appointment to get my Spanish citizenship. It just turned out it turned out to be like the same day, so I'm gonna try to be in the meeting as much as possible, but I need to also get ready, like all the paperwork, and I need to leave. It's at 11. So
be with us as long as you can, and welcome. Just be with us as long as you can, and congratulations on becoming a Spanish citizen. Okay,
really important day.
Okay, we'll put you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being with us. Okay, so put her, and Natalia, I can see that you got cut off. So let's see, was she in a group? Otherwise, we'll put you in a group, Natalia. Natalia, yeah. Nope. Okay, she's gone. Good. I'm going to go get some water because they've got 17 minutes. I'll be right back. We are way ahead of schedule. I'm just realizing that. My goodness. Okay. I'll take some popcorns now too, because we've got time. We call them popcorns, by the way, Martha. This is our funny participatory language.
I have a quick question. This last point on more thematic, like for your creative brains.
Yeah.
The last point somebody met, like the labor of applications and the rejections.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for a word that's even broader to describe it, as in that's, I guess, a part of the system, right? That they're in, like that's.
It's systemic. It's a systemic issue.
It's a systemic.
It's a systemic challenge because the system is based on them being chosen. Do you see what I mean? The system works like that. So I don't know. That's how I'd call it, but I don't know.
So the application and getting rejected challenge.
Yeah, we've got somebody joining us. We've also got the systemic, it's an ingrained challenge. That's another way of saying it. Hello, welcome. Just check if we can hear you, if you can hear us.
Hello.
Hi. Have you just joined us?
Yes.
Great. Okay, so people are in breakout rooms, but they'll be back in about 2.5 minutes. So I suggest you stay with us and you can join the next round of conversation. Is that okay?
Yes, great.
Thanks. Okay. Martha, I just have a question for you.
Yes, I'm here.
Did you get the titles of everybody's presentations? I have their names on a slide, but I don't know if they've got titles.
I proposed them titles, but they didn't confirm. So I know.
But
I know the topics.
Yeah, just give me the topic. So what is Beryl going to be speaking on? Is she post-colonial or is she?
So it's a bit of a mix. She wants to tie. I mean, the name of the presentation is. Let me just check 1 second. It's called Magna Mater.
Can you pop it in the chat for me?
Yeah, I'm writing.
Yeah, thanks. And also Julia's and also Marcella's. Mm-hmm.
And Marcella.
Hi, welcome, Martina.
I'm going to close up now.
Yeah. Hello. Hi, Alina. Hi. Welcome back to those of you that are just back. I'll just wait for the rest of them. All right. hopefully you met some more new people, okay, we're just waiting for the rest. There are always those that hang on till the last minute and then they get cut off by Zoom. We're back. Okay, we're all back. So welcome you back from your second round of conversation, looking at that collective inspiration that connects your practices. Maybe this time, can we pop some things in the chat? What were some of the things that have shown up as kind of those connectors between your collective inspiration? Let's just pop some trust. Wonderful. Thank you, Anna. Nature. That's rage. Beautiful. Communities. So Angelos has some problems with his Wi-Fi, but welcome. Okay. Need to work together. Totally. Sometimes in artistic practices, there's a lot of competition, which is a systemic problem because of the way, what we heard earlier, right? About being chosen, etc. Utopia, open discussion, necessity, empathy, necessity, right? The fact we work starting from our own experience and our personal stories. Wonderful. Hydrofeminism. Oh, I'd love to hear more on that one. Emotions, gut feelings, movement, borders, migration, personal narrative. Room to Bloom Artist Union. Beautiful. Connecting and starting to organize. Bodies of water, right? Land, feminism, politics. Experience with our own body. So important. Migration to find a safe place for mourning, selfishness, dynamics of coexistence, the past to the present, body as the archive, right? Back to our bodies. Our bodies are so sacred. Imagining alternatives, so many similar things, patriarchic background, immigrant background, repressed ancestors. Wow, repressed ancestors. Freedom. There's so much here. I'm not going to read it all, but I wanted to capture it because we're going to, trust is coming up again. We're going to capture this, and Julia, who is our visual scribe here with us today, would want to see and capture some of these words. COVID inspired us to work more collectively, right? There are good things that are coming through this crisis we're in. Nature, culture, borders, collapse. Ways to express ourselves with our words, with our bodies, with our movements. And I didn't read them all, but there's some really beautiful things that sit between us, that connect us. The spider web that was mentioned earlier. These are like the threads, the silk threads that are holding us together. So we have a final round of conversation. You're going to be in the same group you just were with. We're going to take about 15 minutes on that. And our final round is shifting us to our, oops, sorry, wrong slide here. Shifting us to our, what can we make of us being together, right? What can we here in Room to Bloom? So based on our collective inspiration, what do we dream? What do we dream? Dreaming is so important. We can create through Room to Bloom. So just wanting to give you that space to start to take from your collective inspirations, something that those seeds that you would like to co-create through Room to Bloom. In this space, this creative, fertile space, what do we dream we can co-create through Room to Bloom? Okay. So that's going to be our final round. See if a statement comes, see if some keywords comes, see if a little narrative emerges between you. And I'm going to invite you this time to use this little whiteboard, which is not so difficult to use. It's called a Jamboard. Mary, if you could pop that link in the chat, that would be really great. And I don't know if any of you have used this, but this is just ways in which we can capture things collectively when we're online. If we were in person, we'd have a board, we'd have a space where we could capture what we're saying. So this is going to be our online space. I'm going to invite you to capture what you dream by writing on a post-it. You just click, I'll just do that again because I did it too quick. You click this little icon here. It comes up, you can change the colors and you can write, and then you just save it, you cancel, and then you can move it, okay? So capture those dreams, and I've put 2 panels because there's a lot of us. So if you want to move, if this panel gets filled up, you can move to a second panel on this, okay? So as an output of your conversations on what do we dream we can co-create together, see if it can be captured in a post-it or a couple of post-its. It's a way for us to capture those dreams of what we can do together. So Mary's going to pop us back into the same groups, and we'll have about 15 minutes there. Sure, did somebody have a question? Sure.
Yeah,
Please go ahead.
I think there's too many people on the file and we can't all open it.
Oh, okay. So
Muted, no.
Okay, so we're over 50 on this. Okay, give me 2 secs and I'll just set up another one really quick. And if you weren't able to get on that one, we will just do a new one. So give me 2 secs really quick. The joys of technology. All right, we'd have more than enough. Here we go. I'm going to set it up for you guys, but just to give you the link so we don't delay, here's another link. If you weren't able to get on that one, get on this, and I'll set it up as you go into your groups. So you will be able to capture it here. Okay. So what do we dream we can co-create together through Room to Bloom? I'll set it up for those of you that weren't able to get on the other one, and we'll just work with both of these Jamboards. Are we clear, right? So let's go, let's dream. What can we do together? What can we co-create together through Room to Bloom? You'll have 15 minutes, and Mary's popping you back into your groups. Okay. I forgot that. Lena, can you hear us? I forgot that I think Jamboard only works with 50 or something like that. So silly me. Anyway.
Is it okay if I enter one of the rooms, right? Okay.
Yes, of course, you can, Drew. Yeah.
You click on the link.
The first one now worked.
Great. Okay. She's back. The lady with the recording voice. Okay, so we're still waiting for a few more. Slowly, slowly, we're gonna all join. And we're all back. Okay, thank you. And thank you to those that did some scribing visually on the Jamboard. We'll start off with the first one, and I'll share screen to show the post-it and drawing art here. Here it is. Would love to invite some of you, we've got about 10 minutes or so, maybe a little bit more to, about 10 minutes to just share with us some of what is written here. We'll go to the other Jamboard as well, so we won't forget that one. So just inviting anybody who wishes to speak to a few of these post-its. Please just unmute.
find a voice together.
Find a voice together. Beautiful. Thank you. Just to hear a couple more. The drawing is continuing. I love it.
We were basically talking about how is it nice to hear other people's story and connecting to their stories with them and to feminism, and also in the same time to share your own story can be like very empowering to like get rid of that kind of shame that sometimes is coming with these personal stories, and be able to get rid of it and share it with other people. It's like a very empowering feeling, but you can just do it like in these safe spaces.
Thank you. The power of story. Absolutely. The power of story and safe space together. Thank you, Sophie. Thank you.
Yeah, Sophie and me were in the same group, and then yeah, what she just mentioned, I would just want to add up from this, because we also talk about this, how powerful of the communal learning, because you can also read like interesting feminist writers' book by yourself. You can educate yourself, but when it comes with people with energy, you can really like feed each other and learn each other. That's the power of this kind of group. Yeah, that's what we
Thank
talk.
you. Thank you, Valerie. So true. Apart from it being more fun, we see so much more together. Do you know what I mean? Because I see this and then you see, and then together we can see all of it. We can see the wholeness. Thank you. Any other voices from this emergingly beautiful Jamboard? Please go ahead, Angelo.
Yes,
please.
hi. We discussed a lot about how we can coexist, how we imagine ourselves coexisting, how we relate with this term, and how we can create together, since that's what we dream and we have the power to make it, how we can create a space to learn and unlearn. We shared some stories about, using abstract or not abstract words like ecofeminism, and how much we protect these words, and at the same time we hide behind some words, and we take it for granted that someone should know this definition, but yeah, it's something that it's not, we should not take it for granted.
Right. Language, I can't remember who said it, but language does create reality, right? So it creates the way we perceive it. So if we overuse words or throw them here and there in a really simplistic way, we take the power out of them. And I think Room to Bloom is also an opportunity for you guys to create new language. But also the unlearning you mentioned, Angelo, is so important. The unlearning, and it's more difficult to unlearn than to learn. It's very, very difficult. Do we have one more voice on this particular one, or should I shift to the other one? I don't know if you're speaking to them. Please go ahead.
We discussed about authorship and how important it is to get a step back in order to focus on the contents rather than on the people who produce them. And to give voice to hidden stories, hidden narratives, alternative narratives.
Thank you. Thank you. Our world right now so needs these narratives. We need to open beyond what we know and go into that not knowing together. It's so important. Thank you, Eva. So I'm just going to shift to the other one. Again, beauty here. I love this. I have to say, you guys have created the best jam boards here. Is there somebody that might have a post-it here that would like to share something? But maybe you were jumping between the two, but just wanting to check. Some of it's a bit small, but I'm going to PDF all of this and I'll be sending it to all of you. So please don't worry. Is there any voices that want to speak to anything here?
Maybe just as a,
Go ahead, Serena. Go ahead, and then we've got time. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's more about this kind of circles that we started with this idea. Maybe there's a difference between the small group, the 5 people we met now, the workshop groups, which are like 30, 40 people, and then the bigger network of Room to Bloom. But then we started collecting thoughts, and we didn't really put them in a specific group.
Great.
But it's more like the.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing the circles. Please go ahead. Go ahead.
I actually did write something. I was in the same group, and I put like from our conversation came out this need to create a sort of like a group where we could discuss our own experiences. So a more kind of practical and very realistic based group work where we could learn from each other ways of resistance, and in a way that is more connected to our embodied experience rather than like concept or theory.
Right.
And that could really help us also in our kind of everyday life of dealing with difficulties, for example, as artists that coming from different privileged or not privileged countries.
Thank you. I mean, what I'm hearing and what you're saying, Louisa, is that it's really important as part of Room to Bloom to not only focus on the topics that are offered, but to also kind of self-organize around some things that are important for yourselves, those practical, I use the word encouragement, to be encouraged together. Many of you are sitting on an edge and offering things from an edge, which is not understood by the mainstream. And it takes courage to do that. And so Room to Bloom offers that space in which you can be encouraged together. Thank you. That's really important. Yasmina, did you want to say something? Please.
Sorry, I just want to share the idea we find through our conversation, because I think it's actually possible to do with Room to Bloom participants, because we are almost 100, and the idea was to make like collective artistic intervention all over the world, where we have like this date and time. In the same time, everyone is working in their own practice, but on the same topic or subject, let's say, and in the same time just taking photos, and it will be at the end like a really nice catalog or something online and things like that. So I think it's possible, and it's
wonderful. Thank you. Yes, I mean, you guys are cooking, as we say, because you're already starting to bubble with ideas. That's fantastic. And it's true, we cannot allow ourselves being still in this pandemic to stop the connection between us. So use whatever tools there is to keep getting the messages out. Thank you so much. Okay, we're gonna definitely capture all of this. I'm aware of our time because time marches on. Is there anyone that wished to speak but hasn't? Because I don't want to crowd out those voices, but just wanting to check if there's anybody else that wants to speak.
I would like
please.
To say,
please.
Maybe someone said already in another words, but it was very important for us in the group to talk about listen each other and to dream together. So like this feeling of not dreaming alone. Because
yeah, so important. It expands the potential of our dreams when we dream together. So that collective dreaming. Thank you, Jack. It's really important that comes in. Okay, there's so much here, and I can feel the potential that's bubbling between you guys as we do this. We need to take a break because we've been in front of this screen for some time. So look, Ségolène, you've got your little one. Love it. I love it when the next generation joins us. It always makes a difference. So let's take a 10-minute break. Yep. And actually, let's just come on the hour. So wherever you are, let's just join on the hour. Yep. Please get some water, move your bodies. Just take your screens off and mute, but don't leave Zoom. So just take your cameras off and mute up. Thanks, and see you on the hour. about the program. She's back. So it'll be really important for us to see the wholeness. We live in a very fragmented world. So Segolène is going to offer us, what does the program look like overall? You might not be involved in all of it, but it's important that you know what is going to be happening and how you can join in. So with that, I hand over to Segolène and I'll share slides. Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, thanks, Maria. Hello, everyone again. And if there are the slides, it's great. So first of all, I must say I'm extremely touched, and I suppose I can speak in terms also for the partners, that there are so many people in this call and that coming from everywhere in the world. I think that's really something that is great. I am old-fashioned person, so I'm a bit annoyed that we cannot all be in the same room and cannot be meeting and mingling and having fun together and connecting in person. But I'm also aware that the great opportunity it is that we can actually be in different places and that we can erase space. And despite being in Asia, in the US, in Europe mostly, but also in Latin America, in Australia. Let me know if I forget a part of the world. I don't know if someone is based in Africa, although I know that some of our advisory board members are, even if they are not here today, some of them. So I think it's pretty amazing. And so I think the question of creating something despite obstacles and not being divided by space and distance and not being crushed by power and structures is something that is really important to us as Room to Bloom core members, partners. As European Alternatives, guys, I can speak for European Alternatives, but as Room to Bloom members. Maybe we can change slides. Of course, we took our influence from Virginia Woolf. You will have found that on the website. And this is a quote from A Room to Oneself. I think that's the title in English. A woman must have money and a room of her own if she is to write fiction. And that applies to also the art world, and that applies to actually many things. We're still in a world in which we are dealing with this issue. I, for instance, myself in my flat in Paris that is tiny with COVID time and so on, I broke my desk. But anyway, my desk was in the living room. I don't have a space for myself in this house, and I think that's something that is really key to producing, being concentrated, being able to think, and that's why with Room to Bloom we wanted to create this outside space, this space that is lingering. It's not a physical space, but it's a space in which we have this opportunity to co-create a strong network and try to actually make a change to the art world. We can change slide. Yeah, exactly. This sentence is one that we have chosen for our standard PDF. It's an artwork, and it's been produced by a Bulgarian organization. And it says, "I'm no longer accepting things I cannot change. I'm changing the things I cannot accept." I don't think I've ever accepted things I couldn't change. I've always been frustrated with it and being furious about it. I heard about anger earlier on in the discussion. But it's true that channeling our energies to making the real change is something that is extremely difficult, also because it's a tedious daily work, but it's something we really want to do with this project. So we are the partners behind the organization. We are trying to facilitate the process. We're trying to put everything together we can to do that. And we count on you as well to help us create this amazing network we want to go with. Can we change slide? Next one.
Something?
Yeah, perfect.
I think it would be good to note that the quote you just said is a quote by Black feminist called Angela Davis.
Thanks a lot, because I didn't have the reference on my presentation, but the reference is on our presentation documents. So I'm very happy you do it. Thanks a lot. Can we go just to, well, yeah, we can go to the members of the team and then we go back to the next slide, the previous slide. So you've heard me already. You've been in touch with Marta, who is at European Alternatives and Studio Rizoma at the same time as well. So she's an amazing member of the team and been holding the things together. And she's based in Italy, or in Spain, depending on the times, or maybe I would say somewhere else. You haven't met Rasha yet. Rasha is a project manager at the Museum of the World Cultures. Rasha, maybe you want to say hello?
Yes, hello everyone. Hi, I'm here from Gothenburg. Good to be here with all of you.
You have met Julia, who is from Aftomi Academia, sorry for my pronunciation, and she is based in Athens, as you have known, but maybe Julia, you want to say hello again? And you haven't met Katia.
Welcome to Ecofeminist Part and welcome to Athens. Very happy to share so many goals and aims with you, with whom we exchanged so far. Thank you.
And, yes, you haven't met Katia, who is also based in Athens. She's leading Athens Since Days, organizing exchanges between Germany and Greece on artists. Katia, do you want to say hello? Not sure. Katia has had issues with her internet recently, so I don't know if she manages to speak right now. But
sorry, I didn't see I was muted. Yeah, so I just said hello to everybody, and I'm looking very forward to meeting a lot of you in person in a few days, and happy to be with you here. I think it's a very fertile meeting on the summer solstice.
Thanks. And so basically, this team of people, we have already worked together on another project before that was called Rebuild Refuse Europe, and that was working more on artists from migrant backgrounds and refugee artists, and we've tried to we've worked together to put together an exhibition, books, and work and give visibility to migrant artists and refugee artists. That was a while ago, and then it took us quite a long time to get the funding to do this project here, Room to Bloom, and we're very happy we are together and we can make it happen. Maybe we can go to the next slide where we present.
I'm aware that you haven't invited Marcella to introduce herself.
Marcella, yeah, because she's hidden by this mosaic of pictures.
Yeah.
Marcella has joined us to curate the Palermo part of Room to Bloom, and she's curating the workshop that will take place in Palermo and online. Sorry, Marcella, can you say hello?
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. I'm so glad to be here with you all. It was a great pleasure to go through your applications already, and I'm super excited to be part of this and hopefully see you, many of you, in Palermo. So that's it. Thank you for the Room to Bloom to invite me. It's a great pleasure.
And if we go to the next slide, maybe I can present. So the next one, this is quite, the next one again. Yeah, so, well, I'm not going to present everyone. Maybe the one before, just Maria, just one word on the partners. That with the logos top. Yeah, so you've already seen the website, you have applied and so on. So I won't describe everyone behind the project, but the partners are European Alternatives, Studio Rizoma, Athensin, the Museum of World Sculptures, sorry, I can't say that in Swedish, Aftomi Academia, and we have the Biennale's partners, Biennale Warsaw, from Warsaw and from Kiev, who are going to welcome some of the works we managed to produce with this project. The project is co-funded by the Creative Europe program of the European Union, and other funding. Can we go now to, so what we've tried to do is to also get accompanied by more, I don't know if we can say more experienced, or people from the art world who have had to deal with the obstacles we're discussing, and who are able to accompany some of you through the process, help us as the partners to make both pedagogical content that is useful to everyone, and also help us to fill in some of these objectives, that is to open doors in the art world for you who are parts in this of this program. Beral Madra from Istanbul is with us today. You're gonna hear from her a bit later in one of the groups. The other members of the advisory board haven't been able to join because we have had the first advisory board only last week, and so in terms of timing we weren't perfect, but some of them may join in sometimes, and they are very interested of the results of this kickoff, and they will accompany us at some different stages in the process. For instance, Ami and Muna are going to work on building the post-colonial workshop with us, and the other ones are also involved in the different workshops. Maria, if we can go back up to one slide that I have had it, and that is earlier on, and it's with the objectives of Room to Bloom, and then I go on the it's earlier, yeah, this one. So let's say there are 4 objectives of the overall project. And one is to train, assist, and support you in co-creating professional opportunities. We're not, like, our job as the partners organization is not to be trainers, is not to support artists' careers, is not our main activity, but it's really something we want to help with and facilitate in the process. So that's why we created this program with workshops in which we're able to learn together, and it's really thought of a peer learning process. And we want to have this, we have built this networking with the Biennales, also to make sure we open up spaces professionally. And so we're going to work on this side within Room to Bloom. Then we want to have this great transnational network of feminist artists, and I'm very happy that I feel it's already in building, and this community is already building. And let's make it strong, alive, and knowing that it has for, I suppose, I mean, I let everyone choose together, but it has for an objective to be open to others. So it's not, yeah. Then we want to work, and that will come in the flow where we propose, I will present later, on formulate proposals for running post-colonial and ecofeminist practices, art practices. So we want this work we're doing together to be able to inform art management, art organizations throughout Europe and beyond, on how to really make a change on their daily practice. So for that, we're going to work in creating an anti-manual, so maybe a book of tricks or a book of ideas on how to really ingrain, is that a real word in English? I'm not sure, but how to really root these feminist practices and decolonial, we can discuss these terms later, feminist, eco-feminist practices in art management. And the fourth objective is to imagine new ecological and post-colonial feminist narratives for transnational Europe. European Alternatives is all about transnational Europe, is about this space and this existence of this space that is transnational, that is not based in a nation. And I think from this project, I'm quite confident that will emerge new narratives that we can push forward in other parts of our jobs that may be more political or more citizens involvement or democracy oriented. That's the objectives, and we can go back to this flow of the project. Okay, so this is a bit of a tricky project, because we are aware that with our budget restrictions, we cannot bring everyone to each of the workshops and to the last event. So we had to build something that is dealing with this balance. So we are happy to have a kickoff online together and build this community. And we want, it doesn't appear in this project because we haven't finalized the budgeting yet, but it will happen. We want to have some other community times together. So some other moments in which we all meet together. And the ideal situation is that we would do it after each workshop. If we can't do that, but I think we will be able to, we will make sure we have at least 2 or 3 other community events so that we work as a group all together. We make sure those who cannot attend physically one of the meeting, because there are some of us in the group that will not be able to attend any of the meetings physically, are fully part of the group. And I think these first working groups discussions have shown that we have a good potential there, and we can achieve that even online. So we have this amazing solstice event today. Then next week already, or no, this week, there is the first ecofeminist workshop in Athens and online that is curated by Julia and Katya. Then this summer, and it's coming so quickly, I can't believe it, we'll have a call for artworks, because we want to be able to show some of the works that will emerge from this group in exhibitions and biennales. And then we have the workshop on post-colonial feminism, which will be online in Paris, and we hope will be online, coordinated from Paris and Italy by me and Marta. But we may have some physical mini events in Paris as well. We're all dealing with these COVID restrictions that have obliged us to change a bit the program. So that's why it's a bit looser than I would like to, but we're here and we're building it. You can trust us, we're making sure everyone is on board. And then we have a workshop on leveraging obstacles to feminist and migrant artist careers online in Palermo. And I wrote exhibition, but it won't really be an exhibition. It will be an event full of events that is coordinated by Marcella and Marta in Palermo. And that won't be finished. So as I said before, between these workshops, we'll work on creating community events if we manage to online. And so that's where we really want everyone to keep being involved. And then can we go to the next slide? Yeah, it's not as beautifully designed because it's been done by me and not by Julia, who had done a very beautiful presentation. We will have this presentation of works at the Athens Biennale. And we also don't want to only show these works will be able to finance, but really give space to everyone. We've been discussing that in the coordinating group as well, that, I mean, we don't want to go back to a competitive process, and we really want to give space to everyone in this group and be able to show everyone's work. So that's why we're working on the index of artists that is published online and distributed, and we're working on a catalog and this index. So that will be ready, I suppose, I'm sure it will be ready next year in 2022. And you can hear my baby who is not happy that I'm speaking for so long. Then we're also working on this anti-manual I mentioned before for feminist post-colonial art curation. And there will be a last opportunity to meet that the date is not confirmed yet, but it will be the spring of or autumn 2022 networking event in Kiev called Artgora that is coordinated by Russia from Sweden. That's nice. And the hope is that this beautiful artist and art professional network continues and grows over time. And I think I'm done with the presentation.
Thank you. So it's quite a journey that you guys have ahead of yourselves. With lots of opportunities, and I'm super curious to see what's going to come out of all of it, and I think it's going to be amazing. Just based on what you did on the Jamboard, it's going to be even better. Irini, you had a question.
Yeah, I was just wondering if it's possible for us to participate in the online event, for example, post-colonial, if we're not chosen for it. If we can not participate, but just watch the seminars for research purposes only, you know?
Right.
Would that be a possibility?
So, Ségolène, yeah.
To participate online even when one cannot be physically in the workshops. Yes, we want, yeah.
And if you haven't been chosen, for that workshop.
For example,
yes,
for feminism, and I would be interested to see what is going to be discussed.
Yes.
Yeah. I think also it's really important that these sessions are recorded as we're doing today, so that we have archives and you can also refer back to them. Because you guys are going to be creating some amazing material. Okay, I'm aware of our time. We're running behind, and I'm really wanting to give the rest of the time for yourselves to work and to hear from the content, the substance of what you're in. But before we go into breakout rooms, and the way we're going to do it is we're going to randomly put you in one of the groups. So even if it's not the chosen one that you have been going for, it's a way to find out a little bit more and you know, get inspiration from it. But before doing that, we would like to screen Julia Strauss's film on Trans Indigenous Assembly. Did I say that right? The Ecofeminism and Trans Indigenous Assembly. Do you want to just say one or two words there, Julia, and then we can see the film? It's short, but it's beautiful. Please go ahead, Julia.
Once again, welcome to Ecofeminism. I'm sitting in the room of Ava, and on the other side is the room of Naste. From this room, I'm going to transmit you the environment I've created for the ecofeminism. We take the advantage that this environment can be screened to you who are not coming to Athens. It's about those who have already started to live this life we are talking about, for which ecofeminism is such a relevant practice, who are already a community we are trying to continue to build, and who actually represent this and practice these forms of knowledge that were previously marginalized. And yes, welcome to this short essay.
Thank you, Julia. Please go ahead. Did you want to say some more? Sorry.
From whose screen are we screening it? From yours?
No, from Marta's. Just checking if Marta, are you ready to share it?
And we have in this short video, you will see 3 of our participants of the board and the trainers of our workshops. They will be on screen.
Great.
Enjoy.
Wonderful. Thank you. So please go ahead.
patents on the uses of compounds isolated and synthesized from camel.
Euro is the normal price for retreat.
Controversial ancestral medicine.
I have a problem with the term indigenous.
Indigenous peoples are key to the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development.
It's not a wellness center. It's a political...
She can heal on the highest spiritual level.
For people who go to the Berghain and I'm too much of a hippie.
Assimilation of jungle knowledge in the market economy.
The term epistemicide is too polemic.
The world's most endangered indigenous tribes, pictured in stunning lifestyle photos.
Celebrated indigenous leader, Rayoni, has said that Bolsonaro is taking advantage of the coronavirus to eliminate indigenous people.
The future of humanity depends on listening to indigenous peoples.
I dedicate this film to the hundreds of assassinated indigenous climate activists who have fought for their and our living spaces. The victims of this struggle cannot see this film, but they are with us.
Sorry, it seems to be it's just loading up, I think. Is that the issue there, Marta? Let's try again. Sorry about this. A technical glitch. Let's just see if it starts again.
This is the air for which they gave their lives on the front line. In Australia, Asia, Latin America, and Siberia. For us. We live in times when every artwork is screened for politically correct content. Is this why I have a feeling that I have to emphasize my belonging to the indigenous culture of the Mari? Perhaps this is what people call illiberal democracy. If one knows us, the Maris, then it is as the last pagans of Europe. In Russia, they call us the second Chechens. Our highest goddess is called the grandmother of the universe. Our practice of atterrir, being down to earth, consists of embracing trees. This is exactly what all indigenous people have in common. They all embrace trees, drink the sun, talk to the plants, worship their ancestors, and have their own bridges to the sky, in order to daydream, as I am doing now. All indigenous people have long since read Bruno Latour. Do you remember his fictional conversation with all of us in the Down to Earth? How have you managed to resist and survive? He asks on behalf of the Western world. It would be good if we too could learn this from you. His question is quietly followed by the muffled, ironic response. Welcome to the club. On behalf of all the indigenous people, I continue to fantasize about Bruno Latour's hallucination. We could, having already gathered unanimously, continue with this answer. It's good that you ask. We need you in order to protect what's left of the environment. Let's first shift your perception of nature from resource extraction for human society to nature as sacred living organism of which humans are only one part. And then we can talk about the third attractor. In pain and conflict, we are overcoming the category of indigeneity which you have constructed and the identity politics you have projected on us. We have long been in the process of hybridizing indigenous science and Western ideas. Here you will meet artists who have stayed in their indigenous communities or who have rediscovered them for themselves and are active beyond the Western art institutions. Masters who have made their outstanding teachings of light as precise as mathematics available to the Western world. Aboriginal cultural workers who emancipated themselves solely from the power of their art. Amazonian curanderos who work miracles despite the shaman business, but also people who see themselves only as a collective, no longer as individuals, and who realize the latest psychological developments with spiritistic ancestor cults. Here, connected in a trans-indigenous assembly, in a daydreamed epistemology dictated by the oracle of plus globalization for a university in times of climate change. You can participate in these fantasies, experiences, rituals of environmental grief, down-to-earth techniques, and spiritual practices, all of which have emerged as reactions to Gaia's rage. What you will see is already the preparation.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for this beautiful, I don't know what the word is, testimony and beautiful witnessing, and so needed in our world, the voice and the practice of the Indigenous. Thank you. And now, yes, we've got Serena saying thank you, thank you. We are going to take the next approximately 20 minutes, because we're running a little bit behind time, to work in 3 groups. And we will, just to share my screen here, sorry. I will just move it forward because, oh, sorry, back there. We have Beryl Madra in Turkey, who is going to be speaking to a title of Magna Mater, and we'll hear more from her. We have Julia Strauss, who is going to speak more on the video and take us deeper into ecofeminism and the Trans-Indigenous Assembly. And Marcela Caldas is weaving commons out of time. And this is our opportunity to dip our toes just a little bit into the waters of the content that are part of Room to Bloom. We're going to put you in these 3 groups. It's going to be totally random. So enjoy the synchronicity of ending up in the group that you need to be in. Don't get worried and rational about being where you want to be. Allow the flow to take you where you need to be. There'll be a presentation, and then hopefully there'll be some time for some questions. This is an appetizer, something to get us inspired for the workshops that are ahead of us and for the topics that you'll be discussing. So with no further ado, I'm going to invite Mary to put us into those 3 groups. Are you ready to go? We'll have about 20 minutes. Yep. Okay. Enjoy whichever group we end up in.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
So someone is recording, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it is
Yeah.
recorded. Shall I share the screen, Marta?
Yes, Beral, please.
Ah, okay. Sorry, you didn't tell me what to do.
Can you share your screen?
Okay. Okay. But I don't know what's happening. Okay. This technology. Okay, this is my subject, Magna Mater, the truth in today's ecofeminism. What we are pursuing is the truth. The truth is to be discovered in human history and memory, in contemporary art, in post-capitalist activism, to my opinion. The gender stereotyping and discrimination of today are better understood when people are informed about the ancient sources. For example, the myth of Garden of Eden, in which Eva is betraying Adam and doomed to be the evil female, will no longer be able to haunt the generations if we get into the root of these tales, narratives. The gods and goddesses of ancient civilizations summarize the fundamental archetypes through which humans think and act, even if they are not conscious of it. This knowledge can not only help us to understand and interpret the character, behavior, and needs of women, but also to explain ecofeminism, which has its ancient background to the public. There are three dialectical images of women in ancient history: Mother Goddess, Amazons, Medusa. In these three mythological personalities, we see the following features: creator of all creators, earth and fertility power, healing power, founder and protector of cities, messenger of future, protector of culture, protector of nature and animals, and warrior and victorious power. In the mythological narratives of these three icons, we see complex male-female family relations, conflicts, power competition, jealousies, violence, honor killings, massacres, all tragic problems and conflicts globally experienced today. The rebellion of these goddesses also forms the background for the revolts performed by women for centuries. In Anatolia, these are the images of mother goddesses. In Phrygia, Cybele. In the Kültepe tablets, Kubaba. In Lydian kingdom, Kibebe. Hittite kingdom, Hepate. And, Ephesus of Artemis. And in Creta, Rhea. In Roman Empire, Venus and Magna Mater. So,
sorry, we're not watching your screen.
Sorry?
Sorry, we can't see your screen. I don't know if you wanted to share.
You don't see?
We were watching it at the beginning and then we are only seeing you.
Sorry. Do you see now?
It seems like it will appear. Thank you.
Okay. Now you can see one of the first images, which is in Ankara Anatolian civilizations. It is found in Çatalhöyük, and this is a later version of the same goddess. You see, there are aesthetical changes, but all the time we see the powerful mother goddess image. And for example, this is a Hellenistic image of mother goddess. But in early Christian images, we see that this image was repeated somehow. And I mean, this is now entering into the same image enters into the Christian image. And from the Greek point of view, Ephesian Artemis is a distinctive form of the goddess Artemis. In Greek art, Artemis is the twin of Apollo, a virgin huntress who supplanted the Titan Selena as goddess of the moon. So you can see how powerful this goddess is. At Ephesus, a goddess whom the Greeks associated with Artemis was an archaic, certainly pre-Hellenic cult. You see the how it changed. I mean, it is a composition of the Neolithic and Greek and Hellenistic image. And this is the temple of Artemis in Ephesus. Now, Amazons are portrayed in a number of ancient legends, such as the Hercules, Argonauts, and the Iliad. They were a group of female warriors and hunters who matched men in physical agility and strength, in archery, riding skills, and the arts of combat. So there is a need of women goddesses to be powerful and to compete with male goddesses. Their society was closed for men, and they only raised their daughters, either killing their sons or returning them to their fathers, with whom they would only socialize briefly in order to reproduce. You can see that again in the Greek culture, this competition, this kind of enmity between male and female. This is a famous mosaic from Antioch showing the Amazon in fight. And this is the famous sarcophag in the archaeology. And then we come to the Gorgons, which is also a very complex figure in the mythology. Gorgon was a beautiful woman, but she was usually represented as a winged female creature having a head of hair consisting of snakes. Unlike the Gorgons, she was sometimes represented as very beautiful. Medusa was the only Gorgon who was mortal. Hence, her slayer, Perseus, was able to kill her by cutting off her head. You can see how this narrative starts. The severed head, which had the power of turning into stone, all who looked upon it was given to Athena, the most powerful goddess, who placed it in her shield. According to another account, Perseus buried it in the marketplace of Argos. So these are the images you can find in Anatolian archaeological sites. This is in Didyma, which is one of the most famous. And this is in the Roman cistern in Istanbul. You know, it is carrying a column. And many contemporary artists found this very interesting and made installations in front of this. One of them was Marina Abramovic. Of course, this is the most famous Benvenuto Cellini sculpture showing Apollo and holding Medusa. one of our artists, Gül Ilgaz, when we were making a show in Berlin with 14 women artists from Turkey, has made this big photography work. So what ecofeminism is, what I'm trying to explain is matriarchal order is million years old. From the Paleolithic area, you see 2 million years ago, until sometime around 3000 BC, human society was matriarchal, woman-centered, and goddess worshipping. But patriarchal order, male hegemony, is only 7,000 years old. The process of transformation took place on different continents all over the world over the period of 6,000, 7,000 years and continues until today. The transformation is caused by economic division of labor, transform the order of capitalism, which is the main source of male hegemony and patriarchal system. Now, a very short feminist movement in Ottoman Empire and Turkey. Within the family, women might play important, even decisive roles, although in public spheres, such as politics, their former role was considerably more restricted. Let's see what Quran says about women. Women are equally human. Women are equally eligible for salvation. Women are equally eligible for reward. Women are equally able to promote good. Women are sign of God's mercy. This is the truth in Quran. But in the West, the common picture of a Muslim woman is the stereotype of a woman hidden behind a veil, a voiceless, silent figure, bereft of its rights. It is a picture familiar to all of us now, in large part because this is invariably how the Western media portrays women in Islam. What they say, these negative characters, features for women are: Islam permitted beating a woman by her husband. Polygamy, a Muslim can marry 4 women. A woman can't lead in Islam, I mean the political leading. Marriage, a woman, divorce is, with one word. A Muslim woman can't marry a non-Muslim. Veil or burqa, she must cover her body and hair and her face in the burqa because her body is tempting men. But in Ottoman Empire, women movement started very early, end of 19th century. So you can see a group of women who started this feminist movement in Ottoman Empire. And this is a magazine for women, which is also published by this group of women. It goes back to Ottoman period, early 20th century. Some fundamental rights had already been achieved. And since then, the feminist struggle for equality has gradually advanced, and mainly thanks to the reforms of the most discriminatory laws, which were established during the Republic time, but also during the Ottoman time until 1920s. There were many women painters, and there were many NGOs, and there was literature made by women. In May 1987, about 3,000 women marched through the streets of Istanbul to protest against the battering of women in the home. This was not the first time that women in Turkey had taken to the streets. And here you see, you see the recent protests in Istanbul. You can read this feministler. And you know that Istanbul, today's government has decided to get out of the Istanbul Convention, which was giving the woman the most secure position in the society. And the protest against this restriction is still going on. And in just a few weeks ago, no, maybe 1 week ago, Italian feminists has made a protest in front of Colosseum in solidarity with Turkish women. Let's look to the contemporary art, a very, very early video by Nil Yalter. She is a famous artist living in Paris. And this is called Dance, a video, belly dance. And this was really a revolting video. Another artist, Shukran Moral, has also lived in Italy, but now she's back to Turkey. And this was a very, you can imagine that she 24 hours, she lived in a bordello in Istanbul. And this video has been shown all over in the museums in Europe, but it is difficult to show it in Turkey, I must say. And she made another performance in hammam. Hammam is, you know, divided to women hammam and to male hammam, but she just cut through this restriction, and she made a hammam, hours of hammam with men. And as I said before, Turkish men can marry 4 women, and she's marrying 3 men. And this video is also a revolt against this rule. Gül Ilgaz is another feminist artist. You know, I'm guilty of what? I'm guilty of what? In the beginning, I said guilty of giving Adam the apple. And this was in 2006, this was in Salzburg. It was a project on billboards, and it was showing the Courbet's famous painting, but with the flag of European Union. But flag is always very, you know, fragile issue when you use it in public space. But one of our artists, Burak Deliher, wanted to show the burqa problem in, burqa problem in European Union, and he made this poster in 2004 in Istanbul Biennale. And I curated the Azerbaijan pavilion in Venice Biennale 2011. And Aydan Salakova made this sculpture, but it was censored by the Azerbaijan government, and it was not shown in Azerbaijan pavilion, but the Italian pavilion took this work and showed it in their pavilion. So it was not restricted with the solidarity of the Italian curators. And you know, this is a very controversial piece because it shows Hajar al-Aswad, and behind this piece, which really looks like a vagina, there is this stone. All men touches this stone. So you can see the dilemma of today's
So we'll just wait for the others to join us back. Ah, we're all back. Okay, we're all back. I'm sorry if anybody got cut off in mid-sentence. Zoom is terribly rude in that. We want to thank our three inspirers. I hate the word speaker, so I feel that there were three inspirers, Marcela and Beral and also Julia. This is just, I think we got just a drop of the immensity and the beauty that you're all going to be in with these workshops. There's so much to take in. And I just wanted to say one thing. It's not to just take in what we are going to be working with through Room to Bloom with our heads, but to allow it to really settle in our hearts and in our bodies. Because we cannot change the world if we don't change ourselves. And I think that's something that we're going to need to work with through Room to Bloom. But it's not just going to be the others. We wanted to do one other part, but time has beaten us, so we won't be able to. So what I'm going to invite you to do is write in the chat, how are you leaving our meeting? What is with you? What's in your heart as we leave our meeting? Just put it in the chat, in a question, in a statement. Okay. So let's just hear some of them as they're coming through. Curious, enthusiastic, potential nourishment, excited, longing, motivated, blooming, empowered and inspired, thankful, beautiful. Thank you for this. And I know we don't have much time, but I just want to check with Julia as you're doing that. Julia, did you have any images for us, or do we need to send them?
No, I have just one.
Yay! Okay, show us this one image.
Just one, which is a work in progress. And yeah, here we go. My attempt at switching to describing. So a bit of the wholeness of today. And we began with this part on the left, right? So there was the moment of looking at what inspires us and what motivates us to be here. And some of the things I caught, and they're not all of them because that's such richness, but the wanting to be in connection, wanting to be in community. The Maria, you've just said, is the body as an archive, or the body as our house, our home in this world, and to use that. A safe space for mourning was also something that caught my attention. But then this wish of finding a community that works on trust and that practices empathy, but also that has the capacity to rage and rebel against many of the things that are wrong in this world, some of them being nationalism, some of them being the systematic challenge of applying for work and then being rejected and working forth, and always finding the micro and the macro. And there's more for sure here. And as we go on, so this is just 50 people, it's like even more. So you guys are about 100, but there were some things that spoke to me. It felt like somebody said it's a communal space, and somebody else said it's a space to learn and unlearn at the same time. And there were a few, I found, principles or like ways of working together and ways of working towards that stood out for me. That was to listen to each other, to find a voice together, to illuminate these hidden alternatives and narratives. And just now I was with a group with Marcella, there was also a lot of like deconstructing language, or like really becoming aware of how we're using that, imagining new radical imaginations, and potentially doing a collective artistic interventions on the same day. And all of that being rooted in the personal stories and the personal experiences that each of us carries here. So there is the element of the journey on the bottom, which is about, as Ségolène shared, making space for us all, as opposed to another way, an old way of being in competition with each other. And I guess the question that we were holding across the day, but probably across the journeys on the top right, like, what do we dream we can co-create together? And there's much more to be added here. So this is a version, this is the first draft. I'll add a few bits later, but I think the journey, as I heard, is going to be uncovering that and putting that into practice.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So some of the collective intelligence, some of what we brought through, and that's what Julia does for a living. She scribes and listens and captures the essence into visuals. Thank you. And maybe I'll just, to close us, I know we're 1 minute over, just hand over to Marta to give us our closing overall. Thank you, Σας ευχαριστώ. It's been a pleasure to work with you guys today.
Thank you so
Marta.
much, Julia, for facilitating the session so good. I'm going to be brief because we are out of time, but also Ségolène already presented briefly the outline and timeline of what we're going to be doing together in the next weeks and months. But just wanted to remind you that we are going to start this week already the Ecofeminist workshop in Athens, but also online. So to connecting to some of the questions that were made during the day, we're going to try to make all of the sessions available online, and we're going to provide more information about how you can connect if you wish, even if you haven't been selected specifically. So you can always reach to me by email, or you can also call me if you have any questions about how to connect and participate in the different moments we're making available for everyone. The same goes for the presentations or short inputs that we've had from some of the board members. In our room, I was with Beral. We didn't have time to finish and to start the discussion, so we will send Beral's presentation, and sorry Beral for not having the time to finishing it on time, but all the contents that we are producing, it's together, it's going to be shared. And the same goes for one of the questions that were made at the beginning. If we're going to be providing an online space for us to be in touch more easily, that emails sometimes are a bit not easy to deal with. So we are doing a bit of research of what online space is going to be fitting more for us to be in touch. We might be using in the end Facebook, which might be the easiest, but we're also going to propose a few other options to make sure that we are in touch within the members of this community. So thank you very much for connecting today. Thank you, Maria and Julia and all of the people for their contributions and their inputs, and I'm very, very excited to what is to come. So have a great day, and see you very soon online or somewhere across Europe.
Irini's hand is up. Did you want to ask something, Irini, just before we close? Yeah.
Just one question. It's practical. Do you know when are we going to be provided with a program for the Ecofeminist workshop? Because in the email it said 25 to 30th of June, 10 to 10, and I work simultaneously, so it's going to be kind of a problem, and I would like to have a program so that I can arrange mine.
Yes, so tomorrow morning, today we're having the last meeting for preparing the online sessions and which moments are going to be available for people to connect. Julia and Katya are the coordinators of the workshop, so obviously this 10 to 10 it doesn't mean that you're going to be needing to be there present all the time. It's just, well, you will see in detail when we send tomorrow morning. And for the rest that you are not specifically part of the Ecofeminist workshop, if you are available in which to connect between the 25th and 30th, that are the dates of the Ecofeminist workshop, you can get in touch with me and we'll send you the detailed program. That again, it says from 10 to 10, but it doesn't mean that we're going to be online or working on it all the time. It's going to be very, very relaxed and flexible. So really don't worry. And tomorrow morning, we're going to send links to connect online, but also the program and a bit more information on logistics and housekeeping.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yasas, Kalisinehia, be well. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Thank you
Bye.
so much
Bye.
for the wonderful
Bye.
organization also.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So. Thank you all. I think we're good to close. I hope, Marcela, you didn't, I was aware that our time was running, so I hope that was just enough time to give everybody something to speak to. Okay. So we see each other soon, I think, yeah.
We're meeting at 1:30, right?
Correct. Yeah, with Julia and yourselves. Yasas. Bye-bye.
Ciao. Nice to meet you, Maria. Ciao. Ciao. See you soon.
Mary, thank you, Julia. I'll be in touch to finish the report and we'll send that through. Okay. Ciao.
Okay. Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.